Yeah. Okay, Arvind. So
Yeah, bro.
we can start. Just
Yeah, sure, bro.
tell about yourself
Yeah,
and the background. So how can I help you so that we can go ahead?
yeah, bro. So, yeah. Uh, I have a 3.6 year experience in the IT field, bro. So, currently, 2 weeks ago only, I relieved from the organization. I was working in the Wipro
Mm-hmm. Okay.
as administrator.
Okay.
Primarily, I was working the domain of Linux and product support engineer. Basically, I worked for the one product
Okay.
where I worked was the product support engineer. So I plan to switch for the DevOps domain.
Okay.
So I'm searching on the. Currently, I'm studying for some DevOps tools and everything. So
Okay.
I came to know about you on the LinkedIn.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, bro. So I need some suggestion from your end. So how can I
Okay.
switch from Linux admin to DevOps domain?
Okay. Understand. So you want to be switch from your current career domain into DevOps, right?
DevOps,
Okay.
yeah,
So
correct.
right now you just have only for the Linux admin experience
Not
and
only Linux, yeah,
okay.
bro. And I worked as a support engineer for few other roles also. It's a cloud AWS support engineer, and there was on another project where I worked as a level one DevOps support engineer.
Okay.
So yeah, where I came to know about this DevOps tools and everything, then I have to pursue my career in that particular domain.
Okay. Understand. So you can very well. Based on your previous experience, you had experience with Linux administrator as well as for support engineers as well as for the L1 support, and you know about the software development life cycle also, how we are developing our application and delivering to the customers. Correct?
Correct, bro. Yeah.
So you have some overall idea about how system works and also how our project is getting delivered to the customers with the SDLC life cycle. Correct? Okay.
Yes, correct. Yeah, bro.
So now, as you said, you have around 3.5 years of experience, uh, uh, and you want to be okay. Switch from your current role to DevOps. In order to switch from your current role, we need some of the okay basic skills uh, uh, to switch from your current role to DevOps. Okay, I just want to means let me tell you about that list of tools and technologies. Okay, so in order to switch from your current role to DevOps, okay, just
Yeah, bro.
I want to know from your end, like, okay, so uh, do you have any programming language background?
Uh, I have a knowledge on Bash script, and currently I'm learning Python
Okay,
too.
okay,
Uh,
okay, understand. Okay, what we will do? Okay, let me explain. Let me go through one by one. So
yeah,
in order to switch your career into DevOps from your current domain into DevOps domain. So we will go by pace so that you can also understand. So you can relate whenever we discuss. So that if you have any concern and any doubt, we will discuss there itself. Okay. So
yeah.
first thing is that I always suggest people, right? So whenever they want to switch from your current domain or any other domains to DevOps, I would always ask for the particular person or is there any programming language background? Okay, so it is mandatory.
Okay.
Okay, so people will say, okay, it is not required. Programming language is not required. It's not like that. So if you want to perform any role with, okay, in an organization or in a industry, Okay, something, even if you are in that DevOps field, right? So you need to do some kind of automation. Okay, so in order to
Okay.
do
Yeah.
some automation, you need some basic programming language. Okay, so you no need to have 100%. Okay, so expert on the programming language, but you need some kind of minimum
Okay.
level to moderate. Okay, so
Okay.
this kind of programming language is required. That is why I always tell the people, okay, learn some programming language, any one of the programming, high level programming language, like Java,
Okay.
C Sharp, Python, Node.js, PHP. Okay, anyone.
Okay.
Okay, this is
Okay.
the
Oh,
first
okay. So,
requirement I would suggest. Okay,
okay.
okay.
Okay. Do we need to learn Java, PHP because these are used by the developer most of the time?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
as a
yeah.
DevOps engineer, we
As I told,
uh,
any one of the language which you are comfortable, anyone.
uh,
Like if you know Java, you continue with Java. If you know Python, you continue with Python. Anyone.
okay.
I didn't tell for all the language. I told only one language, any one programming
Uh,
language. For example, your case, you know Python somehow. So what I need to do? Try to learn Python your for your future. Okay. So
okay.
when you are learning Python, right? So no, so it's not like you need to go in depth, means like a pro. Okay, at least kind of basic to medium, moderate level you need to understand.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
this is the first step I would suggest people always. Okay, it is required. Please note this point.
Okay.
Okay, so one programming
Yes.
language. Next thing would be I would suggest people. Okay, learn any one of the operating system. I nowadays all the application which is running on Linux operating system, correct? Okay,
Yes. Correct.
so I would suggest people to go and learn Linux.
Okay.
When you are learning Linux, right? You need to learn uh, Linux commands plus networking plus that OSI layers. You know, right? That seven
Okay.
layers. Okay,
Yes. Yes. Yeah, bro.
okay. Then some shell script means shell scripting along with bash script also. Okay,
Okay.
what it can means, what I told, like, okay, when you're learning operating system, you need to learn. When you're learning operating system, you need to learn, first thing is that learn some basic commands. Okay, like how file
Okay.
system works. Okay, how memory
Okay.
management, how user management. I'm just telling for the example. Okay, some learning basic Linux commands, then networking concept. Next, OSI layers. And when you are learning networking concept, that you will cover OSI layers also. Okay.
Okay.
Then you have to learn shell scripting along with bash script.
Oh,
Okay, these are
that's
the,
good. Okay.
yes, these are the things. These are the technologies you need to cover when you are learning for operating system. Now, I
Oh,
hope you have cleared one programming language and Linux operating system. Okay. So once you learn this, next, you need to, I would suggest people to go and learn for any one of the cloud infrastructure. Okay.
yeah.
So why I am saying cloud infrastructure now? Earlier we used to deploy in our own data center or physical machine or our virtual machine, correct? With our own
Yeah.
data center.
Correct.
Now it is already gone. Only few workload which is running their own data centers, or maybe like kind of government industries, or for banking industries, or for sensitive kind of data, right? Those organization, those industry only which is running under their own data center. Remaining all they are using cloud. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I would suggest take any one of the cloud infrastructure like AWS. Azure, GCP. Okay,
Okay.
take any one of the things first. Learn. For example,
Okay.
if you willing to learn AWS, just go and learn AWS.
Okay.
Okay, this is the third thing I would say.
Okay, bro.
Okay, cloud technologies. When you're learning
Okay.
cloud technologies, there are tons of services which is already present. Okay, so there are lot of things to learn. So
Okay.
better to learn each and every things like basic. First thing is that you need to learn about some important basic services. Okay,
Okay.
EC2, RDS, Lambda, SQS, SNS. Okay, uh,
Okay, bro.
DynamoDB. So these are the services you need to learn. Then slowly you get into deeper and learn many things. Okay, so now
Okay, bro.
one programming language, operating system, cloud. Okay, so these things I would say always I will suggest people. So once you are covering these three things, almost you ready to build some application and you can able to deploy that application into cloud infrastructure. Okay, you are you
Okay,
are
bro.
you, you are capable to do that now when you are learning all those things whatever we discussed. Okay,
Okay.
and later, okay, later should learn these things also. So once you have done these things, then you need to go for containerization.
Okay, bro.
Okay, containerization now, now uh, there are tools are there, but famous would be Docker. Okay,
Okay.
then you try to learn Docker, then you need to go for orchestration, container orchestration tool. Okay,
Okay.
there
Like
also,
Kubernetes.
yes, there are also lot of tools are available, but you try to focus for Kubernetes. Now, I only, I just told as of now, this is for the industry which is currently using. Okay, I thought,
Okay.
and also I didn't told anything like you need to learn many things. So whatever we
Okay.
discussed, it is for limited kind of things for you need to start with.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah. Okay, bro.
when you recall those things, programming language, operating systems, then cloud infrastructure,
Cloud.
then Docker, Kubernetes. Okay,
Okay, bro.
so these things you need to consider because as you already decided you want to switch into cloud and DevOps.
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to do something, in order to perform some work into that technologies, into that domain, right? You need some basic skills, right? Without knowing what you will do there. So for that reason only, we need to be do kind of study before that, before get into that, right?
Okay.
So these
Yeah.
are the technologies you need to focus first. Once you learn these things, right? Remaining tools and technologies are there. Okay, like Git, GitHub, and monitoring tools. That and all we can do it later. It's not a
Okay,
mandatory
bro.
immediate, but we can do it later. Okay, once you learn these things, like okay, so these whatever we discuss now, everything you need to be automate because as a DevOps, right? It is a project. It is a practice. It is a method. Okay, it is a
Okay.
method.
Okay, bro.
It is a methodology to deliver the project in a fast manner, right? Okay,
Okay.
so everything needs to be automate. So in order to automate,
Okay.
you need to whatever the tools and technology which you have learned now, whatever we discussed now, has to be pipelined.
Okay.
So these tool,
Like using
yes,
Jenkins.
these tool to be pipelined. Why you are going to be, why you are using these tools to be pipelined? You need to be automate because manual
Okay.
things will take time. Okay, so in order to do that, you need to be pipelined by using automation. So for that, we have different types of tools like Jenkins, GitLab, GitHubs. Okay, Circle CI. Many tools are there.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay, bro.
you can learn it whatever you like. Like okay, maybe for your flexible things that you can do it later.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I have covered whatever the things you required when you want to get into DevOps and cloud. So
Okay, bro.
you need to have these skills, basically like not like a kind of okay expert level, at least kind of some um, basic to intermediate level, at least intermediate level.
Okay, bro.
So that what you will do, you can able to perform your work whenever you get for the any project. And then before going to that, when you are learning these things, right, you need to learn. Okay, so you're learning theory, but you need to practice more on practical.
Okay. Okay.
Try to solve small project, small POC. Okay, small use cases, so that your knowledge will get okay extend.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that is the reason I always suggest people, like when you're learning those technologies, try to solve the project, try to solve small project or use cases or POCs, so that you will get to understand okay, so how these technologies or these tools is really working. What is the scope?
Okay, bro.
Okay, so this is the things. Once you learn these things, both practical as well as for the theory, then you can see maybe after maybe sometimes might be say maybe for example you are taking to learn these technologies for 6 months to 1 year. So you see after 1 years you will be definitely you will be comfortable to face any kind of challenges. Okay,
Okay.
what you
Okay.
will do later, you try to apply for an interview. Okay, then go for the interview and try to give um, as much as possible. Then you will get the easily you will get the good offer.
Okay, bro. Okay.
So this is the overall idea. This is the steps needs to be follow before going into that means real world means real world project.
Okay, bro.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I hope you have cleared whatever the topics which you have discussed, and this will
Yeah.
be
Yeah. Yes,
this
bro.
would be
Yeah.
very helpful. Just okay. So you can uh, go through that and note it down all the points whatever we discussed, so that
Yeah. Sure.
you learn these things, the technologies, tools, whatever we discussed, right? Maybe it will take for 6 months to 1 year, no problem, but learn
Yeah. Okay,
before
bro.
get into that any kind of interviews or any kind of real world project.
Okay, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, bro. Thanks for the clear details about how I can proceed.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
So do you
Okay.
have
And
any clarification?
yeah.
Just go ahead. We will discuss. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So, what is your daily activities, bro? Day-to-day activities,
Uh,
that kind of.
okay. So if you say daily activities, right? It
Yeah.
depends on the organization. Okay. So for example, uh, if I would say like okay, so mostly uh, for in my organization, I used to work for kind of automations. Okay, whatever the work which is in manual, so I would do, I will do the automation works kind of. Okay, so I will automate the work whatever I am doing for the manual in our project, like
Okay.
any kind of work which is taking manual and needs to be automated accordingly. Okay, that kind
Okay.
of work. And for uh, remaining like okay, so which whatever the project which is already running in production. Okay, so is there any issues which repeatedly occurring? Okay, so kind of repeated issue which require manual intervention. Okay, those
Okay.
kind of issue will be uh, needs to be automated. Okay, so
Okay.
and apart from that, okay, so we used to run a pipeline. for development, staging, production. Okay, so for in our organization, there are admins already managing those pipelines. Okay, so in case any kind of issues for our environment or any kind of phases in the pipeline need to be had, we will give the means kind of scripts. Okay, so that we will provide them. They can go ahead and add for the from the pipeline, so that from the next
Okay.
build onwards, those stages will get included and it will be added into that build. Okay,
Okay.
this kind of issues, and apart from that, there are a lot of project issues and kind of enhancement or kind of um, uh, uh, project requirements. Okay, so those will come. We will go. We will take into that Jira ticket, and we will work on it, and we will go and deliver the projects, or deliver the fix, deliver the enhancement based on the change management process. That is how it will go. That is for as usual work.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
bro. Got
these
it.
are the things typically will do by the DevOps and cloud engineer, and this would be vary from organization to organization, right? So it is not only like, okay, this person has to do this kind of work. It is not like that. Okay, so it would be
Okay.
depends. Yeah.
Okay, bro. Okay. Bro, I have another doubt. So, is this necessary to learn VMware kind of technologies?
No, why EVM is not required. Okay, the VMware is a vendor, right? Okay, so the virtual machine,
Yes.
correct? Virtualization.
Recent,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
not
yeah.
required,
So
not
instead
required.
of we going for a cloud, not.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
VMware also they are providing cloud infrastructure, correct? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think now that's what I told you. Any one of the cloud language means cloud technologies, because the concept would be same. If you learn any one of the
Okay.
cloud technology, the concept would be same. But I would suggest, okay, so try to learn AWS, because AWS already covered means most of the market.
Okay.
Okay, so try to learn AWS. Okay, so in order to boost your cloud skill.
Okay, bro. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got it.
so when you're learning cloud technologies, also try to prepare for you for AWS certifications as well, so that it will boost your confidence as well as for the uh, getting opportunities.
Okay, bro. Yeah. Sure, sure, bro.
Okay. uh,
Okay, bro.
and also try to attend there are local meetups or with your conferences or any other meetings which is conducted by cloud teams, like, okay, they used to conduct meetings for every month or any conferences. You try to attend those meetings and understand, okay, so understand the real world scenarios and learn new things which is provided by the cloud technologies.
Okay, bro. Sure, sure,
Okay,
bro.
this is also some of the tips which you need to add. Keep in mind that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure, bro. Bro, I have another doubt, bro.
Okay.
We have a Kubernetes to containerization our application to isolate our application. So we have Kubernetes already.
Okay.
So why we go for Docker? So what is the necessary? It's come in your organization or any other organization. So
Okay.
Docker is still used instead of Kubernetes.
No, no. This see, let me clarify. Docker is a, okay, containerization tool. Kubernetes
Okay,
is a orchestration tool. Okay. So Docker, see, earlier I think when you are know the difference, right? So what we are doing like earlier, so we need to procure a server infrastructure. We need to, okay, configure RAM, CPU, memory. On top of that, we need to install OS. On top of that, we need to install our libraries, configurations, necessary files. Okay, later we need to install our application. Okay, So when you
Yeah.
are install these things, right? So what we will do? So maybe those things, right? So you you it may be working for your local environment, okay, or your own desktop environment, or your uh, ST environment. But maybe when you are deploying these things to some other environment, like okay, so another environment, maybe maybe the possibility to miss some configuration, some binaries, okay, other things. So maybe it will not work because there are a lot of manual. Now Docker came into picture, right? So everything we build as a image, including OS, correct?
Okay.
So you
Yeah, yeah, correct.
take a image and you can run anywhere, any of the operating system, correct? So
Yeah, yeah, correct, bro.
that is the reason Docker came into picture, correct? Okay. So similarly, Docker is only for the containerized applications. You need to, so your Docker is used to containerize your application. But in order to make your application work in a large scale, like auto scale your container, and okay, you need to manage your containers, okay, and you need to check whether everything, all container is working properly, or is there anything you need to scale down, scale out, scale in. So by in order to do perform those things, this orchestration tool come into picture, Kubernetes, okay. So to manage the containers, this Kubernetes tool came into picture, okay. So that is the reason uh, Kubernetes is working on it, right? So Docker is different, Kubernetes is different. Okay, I hope now you are
Okay, bro.
cleared. Okay, this tool
Yeah.
Docker is used for containerized your application. Okay, so you need to deploy your applications, and so your application will run everything as a container. Okay, so but container is okay. For example, your application is only for maybe you run application for container for two container, three container. Okay, but for your project, there are for your in your organization, you are running a, okay, thousands of containers. What you will do in order to perform manage your containers? Okay, so manual management is very tedious, correct? That is
Okay.
the
Yeah,
reason,
bro.
Kubernetes will come into picture, so that Kubernetes will orchestrate those containers, okay, whatever is the whatever the features which is provided by the Kubernetes, they can able to manage it easily,
Okay, bro.
which is
Yeah.
running the
That,
containers, correct?
okay, bro. Got it. So it's a depend on the project. So if it's the
Yes.
project is small, we can go for the
Yes,
Docker.
if you are
If it's
running,
the
yes, if you are running only one container or two containers, is Kubernetes not required. Okay, you can manage manually. But if it is thousand container is running for your application, you don't know what to change for one container. Is that required for another container? Whether it is reflected or not, or you need to auto scale or auto scale down. This and all very tedious. Manual always give tedious work, right? So that is the reason Kubernetes will orchestrate those things, whatever you required. It will the Kubernetes tool will manage the containers effectively.
okay, bro. Yeah, got it. Got it, bro.
Okay. So that is why I told Docker and Kubernetes still not all companies are using. Okay. Still small companies or startup companies or medium level companies, till they are deploying their application in cloud. Okay. That's enough.
Okay.
Okay, some big
Okay.
organization required, they maybe they need to use for Docker and Kubernetes. They are using it. Okay, it depends on the
Okay.
project nature. It depends on the uh, project complexity.
Okay, bro. Okay. Got it. Got it, bro.
Yes, it is not mandatory use Docker Kubernetes. Not required. If you want to, maybe your application which is running on microservices architecture, or any project which is freshly you are going to build, then you can write a project, build your project as a microservice architecture, and each microservice you can write a Docker image and deploy into any one of the server, and you can manage those containers by using Kubernetes.
Okay, bro.
So
Okay.
that is how it is evolved now. Correct.
Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Another one, bro. So is this necessary to learn infrastructure as a code, like tools like
Hmm.
Terraform?
Hmm.
So
Correct. Good question you have asked, right? Okay, so why if I say everything, right, maybe you will also get confused and you also don't know what to learn first. Okay, so that
okay,
is the reason I told that path earlier. You
okay,
need to go
okay,
with the path one by one, so that once you learn, definitely you can learn Terraform as a code is very powerful tool, which is providing infrastructure as code, because nowadays nobody going to create everything in the console or manual. Okay,
okay,
everybody using that automated way, like as a code. So when you are using code, so managing that code, okay, to do the life cycle of code, everything, and tracking the code, auditing the code is very easy. Okay, so whenever if you required infrastructure, okay, you need infrastructure immediately. Okay, you can deploy that code and you can provision the infrastructure very easily and very frequently and very limited time. That is why infrastructure as a code is powerful tool, powerful language. Try to learn Terraform now. Once you
okay,
learned
bro.
all those
Yeah.
things.
Okay, bro. Got it. Got it. Okay, bro.
Okay.
Okay, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, bro. I think there is no doubt from my end.
Okay, hope you have cleared all those things, and I have clarified. I hope I have clarified your doubts. Correct?
Yes, yes, bro. Yeah, yeah. You have clarified my doubt, bro. So thanks for clarifying and everything, bro. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Take care. And also,
Yeah. Right.
if you need any help, you always okay reach out to me, and I am
Yeah. Sure.
always active on LinkedIn. Okay,
Okay, bro. Sure.
you try to reach out to me, and also
Yeah.
for
Sure.
the learnings, whatever whatever the experience, whatever learned from my past experience, I just okay started my YouTube channel also, because many people are okay reached out from the LinkedIn and saying that okay, so these are the things how to do the certification, what are the technologies to learn, and what is the roadmap and all those things. So I thought that okay, that is the reason I started to uh, um, started my channel also, so that people will
Okay.
get benefited out of that. Okay, so
Okay.
and
Yeah. Sure.
so that is how we are going on it. Okay, so I hope you
Yeah.
have cleared it, and you can reach out to me via LinkedIn. And if you record, you can also follow with the channel, so that whenever anything I am updating recently, you will get the notified, and you can learn it from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure, bro. Yeah. Definitely, I will follow, bro, the channel and everything.
Okay, you can refer my LinkedIn. I given the link.
I think I am already following you, bro. Yeah. I think I am already following you.
LinkedIn, the channel link I have mentioned it, YouTube channel link, and you can
Yeah.
uh, when if you want if you record, and you can subscribe it, so that whenever I update any videos, it will be reach to you, so that you can learn it from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure, bro. I will subscribe it, bro. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay, bro. Thank you, bro. Thanks for your time. Yeah.
Bye bye bye. Take care.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye, bro. Bye.